a very warm welcome to ETPharma. I'm your host Himanshi Tiwari. Now in this special episode, we are joined by two industry leaders from Fortrea company that is making waves globally and increasingly so in India. Say hello to Andrew Hegedus, who is the Chief Development Officer of Global Clinical Operations at Fortrea, and Rishi Sharma, Senior Vice President of Safety and Data Sciences at Fortrea. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, starting with the big picture, Andrew, the biopharma R&D industry is constantly evolving. The whole landscape is constantly evolving. There are multiple challenges, be it regulatory complexities or drug clinical trials. How is Fortrea sort of positioning itself as a solution in this dynamic environment?
Well, part of our strategy has actually been to consolidate and focus our business. We actually got much smaller in our spinoff to become Fortrea, and it was really intended to focus on excellence in clinical delivery, leveraging our expertise, broad expertise in both medical development, operations, and regulatory strategy. And how do we leverage those expertise as well as our data insights to be best positioned to partner with our customers and so they can benefit from all the experience and expertise that we have historically in running trials all over the world. So that's a big part of it. Secondly, it's our people. And we've continued to focus on our culture. We see that as one of our strengths. And as we grow, and India has absolutely been core to that, we'll talk about how our footprint here in India, which is about a third of our entire employee base. So there's a huge commitment to continuing to grow in India and support not only trials that are run around the world, but lead trials from India and continue to support them globally.
All right. No, thank you for sharing those views. And you were also talking about the talent pool, right? And we will talk about it in the later half of this video. But before coming to that point, I would like to come to you, Rishi. You have been expanding in India. So first of all, if you can explain how that expansion has been for you in India. And of course, if you can tell us about the journey and how India actually fits into your broader global strategy.
Sure, and thank you for asking that question. Fortrea is one of the fastest growing CROs in India. As Andrew has mentioned, that 40% of our global headcount sits in Asia, and significant part of that is in India. So in India, we not only have the breadth of the experience, but we also have the depth of the experience. We have the talent that ranges through all of the clinical development life cycle. So that's something that we have been focused as India landscape is evolving in CRO. We have made sure that Fortrea is evolving across with what is the current talent landscape that we have.
Yeah. All right. No, thank you for sharing that views. Now, Andrew, how are you sort of planning to strengthen your foothold in the Indian market now? Because India is a growing force in the global biopharma space, right?
It is. And what we're seeing is that our customer base is evolving. It's moving somewhat away from, there's still a strategic importance of biosimilars in developing those medications, but there's more of a prioritization towards innovative medicines where the needs of the customers, the emerging biotechs, local in the region, are evolving. And we're trying to ensure that we're getting in front of those customers. We're engaging with them early and thinking about how do we partner differently. So we're there with them when they're thinking about their development life cycle, even well before they're ready to run a program. By putting significant expertise around them and what we can offer solutions, they can think differently about how they design programs and how they're executing them, setting them up for success. So it's important that we're engaging with these customers as early as possible in the process.
Yeah. No, that was about customers, as you were talking in your previous answer about the talent pool here, right? And I'll come back to you, Rishi, on that note. How India is sort of, how are you seeing India or Indian talent pool contributing to your global success or contributing to your broader strategy plan?
And thank you for asking that question. Most of us know that India is hotbed for the talent as well. We have close to 5,000 institutes, educational institutes that are producing pharmacy graduates. We have close to 600 medical institutes, close to more than 5,000 now engineering graduates. So, and as per the latest source recently, we have close to 94,000 people, active job seekers in life science space. Close to 3,000 plus we have in the medical space. So that gives us a immense talent pool on which we can rely on. It's not only the people who are coming out of the graduates, but the active job seekers is something that we have been noticing that there has been increasing trend with increase in the CRO industry as well as the pharmaceutical footprint. So this is something that is going to grow. And it's not only the new graduates or the new people who are the active job seekers, but we have also seen the depth and the breadth of the talent. As I've said earlier, the talent right from understanding the startup piece of it to moving to the clinical and data management, all the phases of clinical trial. So it provides us a good breadth as well as the depth of the talent that we are seeing in India that is coming up.
All right, thank you for sharing that. And at this point in time, we have been seeing a lot of news how Indians and Asians are competing at the global stage, right? So when it comes to your Indian and Asian clients in their clinical development journeys, like how are you helping those clients in their clinical development journeys?
Well, for both Indian and other Asian customers, we're really putting our expertise in front of them and helping them think through the development strategy, but also the operational strategy to match. It's important to understand that both the talent pool from our staff, but the healthcare workers, the physicians who are running those trials, the study coordinators at the hospitals have huge potential. I continue to every trip that I come here, I'm continuously amazed by the level of skill and commitment running clinical programs. So it's incumbent on us to look for opportunities for all of our customers around the world, where to best run these trials. We have our staff that we continue to invest in developing, but as our investigators are doing that as well, we're looking at how do we partner better with investigative sites in the region, in India. We've developed a late phase oncology network of investigators throughout the region, and this is a new network of sites that we're continuing to partner with so we can bring more trials to them and demonstrate high quality with the expectations that you would see in any other part of the world and be able to run more trials in this region. So we do that both with our Asian customers and our Indian customers, but it's important to recognize the talent is here and it's looking for how do we best deliver these trials in a way that's going to meet the customer needs.
But the global regulatory framework is also always shifting, right? And sometimes unpredictably. So how are you sort of helping your clients to navigate those complex times?
Well, we have regulatory experts and consultants in almost 100 countries around the world that we're able to support. That level of knowledge and expertise, putting them in front of the drug developers at the sponsors to help them make decisions to anticipate the challenges and risks and what needs to be navigated to circumvent those issues and to streamline process to help work through these regulatory agencies. As the US regulatory system changes, regulations change, particularly with diversity action plans, as European regulations change and processing of European CTRs, and even locally here in India. We've got to stay current on all of those so our experts know how to help our customers navigate. Now, what we have seen in the US, the diversity action requirements actually have required and opened up opportunities to do more trials in different parts of the world. Competition for patients around the world continues to increase. That forces us as an industry to look where else can we find patients and good quality investigators to be able to deliver these trials. And that puts a little bit more emphasis on regions that may not have been considered previously. The competition is another aspect where there's huge potential here in India to help us overcome those. So we're working with all of our sponsors with our expertise here to really be able to solution putting more programs here and bringing them here. Now, a lot has been done over the years with the Indian health authorities and to help improve the timelines and the process to get initiating trials in this region. That's something that I actually really look forward to. That could change the game here and bring a tremendous amount of more work into the region, which we expect over time is going to happen. But that in itself will make it more open to running early phase trials and be more competitive with places like the US and Australia that have very short regulatory approval timelines. And that's one of the differentiators that companies look at when it's making decisions on where do I want to take my trial.
And I think in addition, I'll also add to Andrew that we're also developing some of the AI tools which are going to help us, be very current to what are the regulatory landscape is, regulatory, things that are changing over the world. So we are developed and we are in process of developing some of these AI tools so that we can help our customers navigate this landscape better.
All right. No, thank you for sharing that. Now, coming to that point only, when it comes to technological advancements, what sort of technological advancements are you embracing in this field for probably to streamline the clinical development? Because, technology is changing the industry in a big way, right?
And you're absolutely right. And technology is going to have a significant influence on where we are today and where we are going to be, in a very near future. Right? We are not talking about decades, we are talking about 3 to 4 years when the whole of this landscape is going to change. So Fortrea has been very focused on making sure that we have the right technological expertise. We have established a AI studio within Fortrea where we have brought in the industry experts, not only from the technology side but also from the subject matter side, to actually create the solutions that are going to be forward looking. And these solutions are across the spectrum of the life cycle. But that is absolutely sure that technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning is going to significantly impact. And we are also partnering, we have partnered with many of the integrated technology platform organizations that are helping us to make sure that what products they are going to bring to the market, in partnership with us. So that's where we are collaborating very closely, not only with something that we are developing, but also the market industry leaders as well.
Andrew was also talking about when we spoke about the Indian and Asian, how are they competing in the global stage. And whatever you have told me at this point in time, it seems that collaboration is at the heart of Fortrea, right? You're collaborating with multiple clients and stakeholders, and you're helping them to navigate these complex times. So when it comes to the collaboration between Indian and Asian clients, what are those models that you are employing?
Yes, so I think as the trials are getting more complex, the partnership and the collaboration models are also evolving. That is something that we have seen. So instead of being purely into a vendor and a supplier kind of relationship, it has becoming more of a partner relationship. That is something that we have started seeing. So earlier the models were either they will fall into full service or they will go into FSP. But now we have started seeing there are more of a hybrid kind of a model. Hybrid might mean something different to all of the different organizations as this concept is still evolving. But the gist of it is that it is a more collaborative and more partnership model. So we have started to develop the partnerships with the sponsors, with the with the pharmaceutical industry, biotechnology industry, that how do we bring solutions together to the market.
Fortrea is also spending a lot of time engaging earlier with customers. Traditionally, many sponsors come to us at the time where they're ready to run a trial. They've really thought through their development plan, they've thought through their study design, and they're ready to go. By engaging much earlier in the process, when they're even working through in a pre-IND stage, they're thinking through what is the development plan, what is the target indication, what's the patient population, and what are the endpoints and data that's really required. That's where we can help influence and bring the expertise to bear much sooner. That sets them up to be much more successful. And it's a great way for us to leverage our expertise around the world for trials that have been successful and better position those programs to run in a global stage and be competitive against the larger pharma companies.
Yeah, and you also position yourself as an agile CRO, right? So, what does it mean, like in practical terms, what does it mean for your clients, and how does it differentiate you from your competitors?
So, great question. And having been with the organization for many years, what I've seen in the overall CRO industry is a consolidation of sorts, where most of the bigger companies have had a strategy of acquiring one after another. And that's not been Fortrea's strategy from the very, very early days. And what we've really focused on is more organic growth, taking our talent, hiring from within. We've done some acquisitions, but very, very few, relatively speaking. Our evolution of Fortrea was actually becoming a smaller organization. We went from a 22,000 employee base down to roughly 16,500, focused at what's core to our business, executing clinical trials and delivering the expertise around there. It's great when companies have many lines of business that support the clinical trial opportunities, but it also becomes a huge distraction. And it becomes more difficult then to be able to prioritize your customers. And what we're finding is customers these days, particularly in emerging bio, they need the focus and attention of their CRO partner. They need the expertise. And without having all of those distractions, by becoming a purposefully focused business, our strategy is to be the best at delivering these programs and helping our trials be successful, helping our clients be successful.
And also, as our CEOs also say, that we are an organization in a Goldilocks zone. So we are not too big to be, to not partner, with the clients, not too small, not to have a global footprint. So we are, that's why we are very agile, because we work, the right size for the, multiple across the spectrum, look at whether you are big pharmaceutical companies or biotechnologies companies to partner with us.
No, thank you for sharing that. And as we are wrapping up this conversation, we had a brilliant conversation on how Fortrea is sort of positioning itself in India. How are you helping your clients to navigate the complex times of regulatory frameworks and much, much more. But as we are looking ahead, if we can fast forward 5 years. So what is that one breakthrough that you see materialize in the biopharma space, and does it excite you? Like, starting with you, Andrew.
Well, I think in India particularly, as I mentioned, I think there is a huge opportunity for the country if the regulatory environment changes to be most competitive in the world. And if we're able to cut the startup times in the region by half, that will open up the floodgates to many different types of trials that may have been prohibitive to run in the region. And that is a challenge that we face in all parts of the world, is how long will it take to develop a drug? There's increasing pressure to go faster and to do it cheaper by all major drug companies. And even with the emerging biopharma organizations, they're under pressure to do more with less budget. So it's important that we have solutions and expertise, and we're staying ahead of that. That's why we've committed to really continuing to grow our experts and focus on evolving the skill base to not only support trials here from back-end services, but to lead them from the region and manage those programs from our core experts in project delivery.
All right. And to you, Rishi, what is that one breakthrough that you see, whether it's in technology or collaboration or regulatory framework space, that excites you and you feel that it can materialize soon?
Yeah, so I'm super excited to see where technology is going to take us in a very short period of time. I think the influence that technology is going to have, as Andrew has said, in addition to the regulatory framework, is the bringing drugs faster to the market. That is the need of the hour. And technology is going to have a significant impact on how we are going to do it, right from the drug discovery part of it to data analysis, cloud computing, the things, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all of these technologies are going to really revolutionize the industry. And I'm really excited to see where we are in a few years from now.
And also, how is Fortrea contributing to that in the future?
So that's I've said earlier that we have established a dedicated, AI studio where we are working on multiple, proof of concepts. We are collaborating with a lot of, our partners, our, pharmaceutical and biotechnologies companies, where we have set up joint innovation councils, where we are bringing these, the thought process, the mindset of innovation, that how we can do things differently, given the technologies revolution that we are sitting at today.
Well, I would just add, from the perspective of um, therapeutic advancements, we're also seeing a major shift in advanced therapies. That's helping us explore more trials and bringing innovative medicines into rare diseases, bringing in cellular and gene therapies. That requires a different level of expertise. We've got to stay ahead of that. I'm incredibly impressed by the amount of talent that's here in the country. We continue to bring that expertise and our experiences from other parts of the world where we've run other trials, bringing it into the region. And I think that will continue to shift. Yeah. What's also important is to see how these therapies over time that are very novel are going to make it into commercial aspect. Yeah. And there are aspects of our consulting business which are important to bring in very early. So when we think about market access, once you have a drug approved, getting it into the hands of the patient. So how do we do that? This is where a lot of the market access and part of that early consultative work that we do and can help support our customers becomes really important.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that. And as we were talking about how India is becoming increasingly important in the biopharma space. So to you, Andrew, how do you see India? Like, are you liking India? Or shall I ask, how much do you love India?
I love being here, and I've loved every time that I have come and spent time with our teams and with our customers. It's been
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for sharing your views. It was a pleasant conversation. And for more videos, stay tuned to ETPharma.